Well, no,
Whether or not you think
I
the
don't take
language
it.
is
There's
whether you know you think it's contentful or not, I'm just asking a question. It requires a
well, yeah,
yes or
but
no.
well, I mean that would be a no because well, I can't say yes or no. I'll just be agnostic. I don't take it you're actually there's a proposition there that I can have an attitude towards, right? Typically, when I say, "Do you believe X?" what you're doing is assigning some type of doxastic state to a proposition, and when some type of expression that seems to be bivalent, like hinges on a predicate that's contentless, then it's actually like some type of quasi proposition. So I can't have an attitude towards a non-proposition that's like a category error, right? Like doxastic attitudes are towards propositions. Any expression containing contentless language is contentless the if the predicate that's relevantly applied in the utterance is significant in the application of the utterance, then it just quantifies over the expression being contentless.
What a bunch of yap. I'm joking.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't. Like I understand to the best of my abilities, but I ultimately just don't. Bro's too advanced.
Like, what do you think you mean
What?
when you say something's composite? Like, do you happen to
Uh,
have a definition?
made up of parts, and the parts are really distinct from each other.
Okay, so, well, first let's let's get clear what you mean by a part.
Something which is less than the whole.
Okay, and a whole is understood as the same as a composite.
Yeah. Wait, what? Sorry, repeat that.
Is a whole understood there to be like coextensive to like a composite,
What do you mean by coextensive?
like identical?
The whole is identical to the part. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, is the language of whole and composition like identical? Does it apply in every? Do they both satisfy the conditions of application?
Um, sure.
Okay, so what you mean by a composite is a thing made of parts, and what you mean by a part is a thing that satisfies is like an element that satisfies a composition. But that's not informative. Like, look, if I said what's a glorish, and a glorish is the thing that makes up a kloopklop, and what's a kloopklop? Well, a kloopklop's a member of a glorish. I don't really understand. Like, that's not really informative. Like, maybe I can understand what you're saying in terms of set theory, where you're saying there's some object, which that object, the identity of the object is coextensive to some type of set where you might think like particles are the members that aggrandize the set. But that's different because in metaphysics, metaphysicians make it very clear they're not using composition language as if they're using some mathematical structure to map out entities, right? In fact, they say that there's like a more robust thing going on, a more metaphysically robust thing that you're being committed to when you say something is in a composite relation, where a mathematical entity doesn't actually have that metaphysical connection between parts and stuff, right? So I just don't understand what that metaphysical connection is. I'm not convinced anyone is actually acquainted with the concept. And it just doesn't seem like, at least in my experience, anyone's capable of articulating it. But I forgot, I think it was Van Inwagen. I mean, there's a couple of metaphysicians who've gone through like works and showing how you can actually like formally illustrate how like composition language is meaningless.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the word's too big. I got lost.
Instant parts. Huh. Ironic parts.
Uh, Monkeyboy, what do you think about the principle of sufficient reason, since Divine tends to mention that?
Which type?
Like, there's different types. Divine, do you know about the different types?
Nope.
Okay, lovely. what time theory do you subscribe to?
I don't subscribe to any particular theory of time.
My
Wait,
God.
just to clarify. Sorry. What were we talking about? The principle sufficient reason. Wait, yeah, no. Like what I mean by that when I say that is like just everything must have a reason or a cause. I'm pretty sure it's what's his
So a
name?
causal PSR.
It begins with a what's it called, an L? I can't remember. Fucking the guy contingency argument did a version of it. I can't remember. Begins with an L. Has long fucking hair. I just remembered watching a video of him from fucking William Lane Craig's channel when I was like 19. But anyway,
Well, like, why would I
He's
be?
talking about the theological PSR, Monkeyboy.
Well, he said it was the causal one right now.
I said everything must have a reason or a
I
cause.
thought he's talking about Leibniz.
Yeah,
Leibniz.
Leibniz. That's it. Leibniz. Yeah, Gottfried Leibniz. That was
Yeah,
his name, I think.
the theological PSR.
So why would I believe everything has like a causal explanation?
No, I'm asking you. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that everything has a reason?
I don't know. Why would I undertake like such a robust like proposition that I have like no reason in the world to defend? I have no reasons to believe that.
But if you would say that it doesn't have a reason, wouldn't you then like be saying that your position ultimately is like unjustified?
No. Justification isn't like a causal explanation. If something is not explained, some fact is not explained, just means it's brute. What it means to be have justification as a property of beliefs and reasons, right? A type of inference can be ill justified, right? Like maybe I believe if there's a cake on the table, then God exists. There's a cake on the table, therefore God exists. And when I ask for like premise, like the argument in defense of P1, right? If there's a cake on some particular table, then God exists. And I don't have an argument for that. You might say there, I don't have a justification. Or maybe I believe in some proposition. I don't have like epistemic warrant to believe in it. Those are the scenarios that would describe a lack of justification. Justification is an epistemic concept. When you talk about like explanatory relations, that's like some metaphysical concept, integrates a bit. It does integrate with epistemology, but it's the PSR is a robust claim about that there must exist for all entities, um, right? Where the domain of discourse would just be the set of real entities. That every entity in the domain of discourse satisfies the predicate of being explained. Now, that's just like such a strong claim that I don't even know how you would begin to like think you have some epistemic ground to believe.
Okay.
But really, all it means to say something has a cause is that there's some type of explanation for a fact, right? Where some event informs some other event, why some other event is the way it is. That doesn't have anything to do with whether I have like epistemic reasons to believe anything. It doesn't. It's not a matter of justification, unless you're talking about the contents of a belief being something like X is unexplained. Now that's just variant on whatever proposition they're saying, right? Whatever is the thing they're saying is unexplained, and the reasons they have to believe that. So of course anyone can have a justified belief for that. Like,
Okay.
but I'm like curious, why do you believe everything has like a causal explanation?
About well, it's not really the idea that everything would. It's that if you hold to a position that doesn't have a reason for its existence, then wouldn't the position that you hold just be unjustified? Like it would just be unreasonable?
No. I can
Well,
reasonably have a view that is committed to bruteness, where I have some justification for some fact being brute. where it just goes unexplained. I think
Wait,
you're
then if
equivocating
you
on the types of
if
context in
you
which you
if
apply
what,
reason.
yeah, 1 second. When you say, well, like then I could just say, um, well, I could just say it's unexplained. Wouldn't that ultimately be just unjustified?
If you don't have justification for the belief.
But
Of
if it's
course, the assertion
unexplained,
isn't
then
reason.
but if it's unjustified or unexplained, wouldn't that mean
If it's
it's
unjustified, then it's unjustified. That's like a tautology. But
is
if
unjustified
I
different than
believe,
unexplained?
yeah, I just explained that.
Oh, okay.
I told you that a justification is a property of proposition or beliefs and reasons, where reasons and beliefs can be unjustified. An explanation deals with like whether certain facts are in relation, or one fact influences some other state of affairs, right? Where like I can say me throwing the ball at a certain speed at a certain direction and then making impact with the window, like caused the window to shatter. Where there's certain events that we would say are like in some causal relation because some latter event or some prior event influenced a latter event such that we would call the relation causal, right? And then we can just say the events there are the relata in the causal connection. That's different from saying whether I'm justified in believing something is in a causal connection or believe something is causally inept.
Okay. Anybody else got any more questions for Monkeyboy?
W.
Wait, Divine,
But I'm like
is a lot.
curious, why do you believe everything's like in a causal relation?
What do you mean by causal relation?
Well, I'm just using the word, right? Or rather, I'm just mentioning the word. You're using it. Right? You're the one who said you're committed to a causal PSR where you think everything is caused or in a causal
No,
relation.
no, I said that everything must have a reason for its cause.
Well, that's trivial. If
Every
something
cause
is
must
in
have a
causal,
reason.
if by reason there you just mean it has a cause, then yeah, you're not really saying something informative. But why? So you don't actually have the view everything is causally explained? For any fact, that fact is like causally explained? Because that's what the PSR is.
I suppose I would have a misinterpretation then. I mean, I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding what you mean by causally explained. I'm not sure.
Because what you're saying is like a tautology. If you're using the language, again, like coextensively, if all you mean by something having a reason in that context, just having a cause, then
Hmm.
everything that has a cause has a reason, which is it's like identical to everything that has a cause, right? If something has a cause, then it has a cause. It's not really, it's like a trivial expression.
No, wait. Saying if everything has a cause is different than me saying there's a reason for its cause. There's
What do you
a
mean?
reason for a reason for something existing is different than me saying
Are you
every
just
cause
saying,
has a cause.
so when you say every cause has a reason, is what you're saying there if X causes Y, then there is like a cause for X there?
Um, sure. I mean, as long as we're not talking about getting into any problems of infinite regress, yeah.
Well, I don't know how you would avoid an infinite regress if you're just going to make this claim that for anything that's in a causal relation, there's like a further causal explanation for that fact, right? The causal antecedent.
We just say that only
Because
things that have a beginning would have a cause. Like if something doesn't have a beginning, then I don't see why I'd need to.
well, I mean, presumably, I mean, under your view, obviously God has a beginning, right?
God has a beginning? No.
Wait, you don't think God has like a temporal beginning?
No, if I say God has a temporal beginning, that'd be contradicting like the Christian view.
Well, well, no, I wouldn't believe that. But so, what do you? So, if God doesn't have a temporal beginning, do you just think God goes through infinite like events or something?
Well, we just say that God is atemporal, and he's just going to be like pure act. So there's going to be no succession of events that he goes through.
Right. If God's atemporal, then that you okay, when you say something's in time, you're understanding time there to be like some sequence of events, right? Like the
Yeah,
ordering
I
of
think
events.
it's the measurement of change. I would say, and I would say that the perception of change that we have, which is temporal, um,
Okay. No,
exists.
well,
Therefore, we see things in
it's
sequence. But I
it's a
don't think.
measurement of change.
Yeah, I would say times like a sequence of events, and also the measurement of change. Just what we use to measure change. That's what I mean when I say like time.
But look, I'm just under the standard account of what time means. Time is just like the arrangement of events,
Um,
right? Do you not just understand like time as being like when I say something is before some event, what I'm saying is like in some type of temporal sequence where there's like an order to events, some event in like the sequence is like an antecedent of that
yeah, sure. Like
event.
we can have that. Sure, like that's cool. But like what I'm saying is like when I say that like when you mention like God has like infinite sequences, no, I wouldn't say there's only one sequence, right? Like because God's going to be pure actual, and like the events that we see as a sequence would just be down to our perception. Like God is pure act, but the perception of sequences would be just down to us. I don't think there's any
So if
real
God is
sequences taking place.
atemporal, then I don't see how that doesn't just translate to God as unrelational to events.
Unrelational? What would it mean to be relational to an event? What would that mean?
You don't know what it means to be in relations with something.
Relation to an event? No, I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, yeah, time is, well, at least under my view, time is like a relational construct, where what it means for something, what it means for there to be time is some type of relation between events, right? Maybe you can say it's like an ordering relation. Is not your
Um,
understanding of time?
yeah, sorry, you'd have to repeat that. My bad, I was doing something. What did you say?
You don't understand time as relational, where what it means for there to be time is some ordering relation between events.
I mean, sure, that makes sense. I guess I'm sure.
Okay, and when you say God is atemporal, which just means like outside time, that just means he's outside the relation of events.
What would be wrong with him being outside of the relation of events? Would that mean he couldn't have a cause or an effect on them?
Well, if God is in an explanatory relation with events, then that just means God's in a relation with events. In order for there to be a relation between events, you must like be subsumed in time.
Why?
Then there would be the contradiction of God's in relation with events and God's not in relation with events.
Yeah. So what's the problem with saying he's not in relation with events?
That there'd be a contradiction.
And what's the contradiction? Why is that impossible?
The contradiction is that he would and wouldn't be in relation with events.
Why would he have to be in relation and not in relation? Are you saying like for God
Because
to affect it, he'd have to be in relation?
atemporal just means God's unrelated to events. And then God being in an explanatory relation between events just means God's in a relation between events.
You're gonna have to repeat that again. So what's the I'm so confused what the contradiction is.
Okay, so if we understand time as the relation between the ordering of events, where events are relational, and God is atemporal, where God is irrelational to events, right? He's not in relation with events. In God explains events, so God is relational to events. Now we get the contradiction: God is relational and God isn't relational to events.
What does it mean to be in relation to events? What does that actually mean?
What does it mean to be in relation with events?
Yeah.
That's like a primitive.
What do you mean?
Like the concept isn't communicable. Can't communicate it. You just have to be acquainted with the concept. Presumably you understand like time already as the relation between events. You even signed off on that. You said, "Yeah, I guess I understand time that way." Now it seems like you're like acting as if now you don't have an understanding of the concept you signed off on. I don't know, this seems pretty weird. Maybe you thought you had an understanding and actually didn't, because then that just means you don't know what it means for there to be time if you don't have this concept of relationality between events. So when you say God is outside time, you don't even understand what that means, because you don't know what it means for there to be time. You don't know what time means.
I don't think anybody really understands time entirely.
So what's the point of saying God is outside time if you don't really know what that means?
Yeah, because whatever it is, he's outside of it.
Whatever what is.
Time.
Is God also outside whatever gloosh is?
Is God also what?
Yeah, is God also outside of whatever gloobly blob is?
Yeah, sure.
Because it makes no sense to just say God has random predicates. Why would you just randomly ascribe predicates to God that you don't even understand what the predicates mean?
Yeah, no, I was clearly joking, man. Like, I agree. It's stupid.
Wait, so you believe God is in time or out time, or you're
Wait, yeah,
agnostic
I'm
on
saying if
whether
like
he is?
if I don't understand like the actual thing that I'm talking about, right, I'm just gonna say that like I don't really know. I'd probably be
Oh,
like
so you're
the
agnostic to whether God's outside time?
well, if I don't understand time properly, that would be probably the smartest thing to say.
Okay.
That would
I
make the
don't
most
I don't
sense.
know what it means to say God is outside time. That's just kind of a
Well,
stupid
it's just
view, but
I mean, it's just a common view that like I think has always been held. And I guess if I don't
well,
understand time,
traditionally common views from theists are always garbage. So I mean,
well, I mean, if
I
I
wouldn't
don't,
just sign off on whatever's traditional among like theists. I would probably like read philosophy and have like some founded understanding of the concepts I'm employing, and then like actually make a judgment from there.
yeah, that would probably make more sense. Chat, you know, I just bought Bloons Tower Defense 6 on Xbox. You know my Bloons Tower Defense game?
I've got
Got it
like
for
500
£12.
hours on that. It's
What
horrible.
bro? The number 6?
Yeah, no, I've
What's your
blackboarded
highest round?
I've blackboarded like 10 maps. I think I've gotten to like 300. It's pretty silly.
That's insane. You
No.
unlock the wizard that's like Magnus Perfectus, whatever.
There's of course I've unlocked all the
Mr. Good Faith.
paragons. What was very happy about? Anyway, carry on.
Mr. Good Faith. Help me with these
Lime,
words.
is that how you feel in abortion debates with me?
Not as much because I'm pretty sure you just got absolutely cooked.
Well, yeah, I mean, bro just laughed as well.
He just explained that you're irrational for being a theist despite not knowing enough about theism.
Yeah, bro's definitely gonna slap that in a Discord or white. I don't even care, man. Like, I straight up just said at the end.